Welcome to Let's Chat, breaking down the blueprint of cult brands that turn customers into diehards. Cult status is designed, and we're breaking down how.
It really is. It's fascinating stuff. Achieving that level where customers feel like they're not just buying, but they actually own a piece of the mission.
Yeah, that deep connection.
Exactly. And, the first, maybe the most fundamental step our sources kept pointing to is this. You've got to plant a flag. You have to stand for something. Mass appeal isn't the goal here.
Right. Cult brands aren't just trying to be provocative to get clicks or something. It's about seeking that deeper connection, drawing in people who think alike. But I guess that means you have to be willing to, alienate the middle ground, maybe. That seems like where a lot of brands get stuck.
That's precisely the risk, but it's also where the loyalty payoff comes from. And, the research shows consumers actually demand this clarity now more than ever. Think about this stat. 84% of global consumers, they say they need to share values with a brand to even consider buying from them.
84%. Wow. That's huge. So it's not just about a good product anymore. It's like finding a partner in your worldview.
Precisely. It's a moral transaction, too. And if they fully trust you, if you're transparent about that mission, 63% are more likely to purchase. But here's the flip side, the stick, really.
Okay.
If a brand doesn't clearly communicate what it's doing on societal issues, a massive 51% of consumers assume the brand is either doing nothing or maybe even worse, actively hiding something.
Oof. So silence is basically suspicion in today's market.
You got it.
That perfectly sets up the big example everyone knows, but honestly, few seem to truly replicate. Patagonia. They really are the definition of planting that flag and, weathering whatever storm comes next.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just think about their famous 2011 Black Friday ad in the New York Times, no less, on the biggest shopping day of the year.
Yeah.
They ran a full-page ad that just said, "Don't buy this jacket."
It sounds like brand suicide, right? Just telling people not to buy your main product.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It actually deepened loyalty. How did they get away with that?
Yeah. Well, because that ad wasn't just some random stunt. It was just one piece of a really long, consistent playbook they'd been running for decades.
Okay.
They don't just slap a mission statement on their website and call it a day. They actively repair used gear. They, sue the U.S. government to protect land. They donate profits. They operationalize their values. And that turned purpose into their biggest loyalty builder. Full stop.
Okay, but let's push back a bit here. That level of conviction, suing the government, telling people not to buy your stuff, that just seems, way too risky for probably 99% of brands out there. How does a regular marketer actually scale that down into something, actionable?
Yeah, fair point. The core takeaway isn't necessarily suing the government. It's about consistency and follow-through, especially using personalization.
How so?
Well, our sources suggest building dynamic segments based on that value alignment. So say a customer makes a sustainable purchase. Your marketing journey has to follow through, right? Feature other eco-friendly products, share relevant content.
Okay, got it.
You could even reorganize your merchandising, not just by color or size, but add value filters like certified ethical or recycled materials. You use personalization to prove you actually meant what you said about your values.
That makes sense. A concrete way to show, not just tell. Okay, so you've planted the flag, you've got this core group sharing values. The next thing they need is, a secret handshake, right? A way to identify each other.
Exactly. That's where the shared language comes in. Language is like the first loyalty loop. It makes buyers feel like members, not just customers. It becomes this badge of belonging that outsiders kind of want to figure out.
And there's research backing this up.
Oh, yeah. The Journal of Advertising found that using specific branded vocabulary significantly boosts recall and recognition. And a more recent study, just this year, showed a brand's linguistic style, its tone, its unique words, directly influences how consumers see it, their loyalty, everything.
And the absolute undisputed champion of making you learn their language has to be Starbucks.
Oh, for sure. They turned ordering coffee into a verbal initiation ritual.
Totally. They ditched simple, small, medium, large for their own lexicon. Short, tall, grande, venti, trenta. If you walk in and ask for a medium, you instantly signal you're, a tourist.
Right, but asking for a tall, that signals you're in the club, you know the code, you learned the ritual.
And it creates that cool insider feeling, doesn't it? Especially because some sizes, like short, are kind of off menu.
Yeah.
Knowing to ask for that, that just reinforces you're in the know and makes a simple transaction feel I don't know, more significant.
It does. So the brand move here for you listening is to personalize based on how fluent your customer is in your brand's language.
Yeah.
For the newbies, you maybe need some language onboarding. Think glossary tooltips on your website, maybe some content explaining the lingo. But for the veterans, you lean in, use the full branded vernacular.
Signal their status.
Exactly. Send them a message like, looks like you're a grande type. We curated these new limited roasts just for your palate. Make them feel seen and understood within the brand's world.
Right. So we've got shared values, shared language. The next level up seems to be knitting those together into something even bigger. Identity, this idea that you're not just in the club, you are the club.
Yeah, that's a powerful shift. Cult brands essentially build identity engines. They get that in our, pretty fragmented modern world. People are looking for ways to define themselves. Identity scaffolding, as some sources called it.
So you're not just buying a thing, you're kind of becoming something.
Mm.
An archetype the brand helps you express.
Precisely. And the data backs this up, too. 56% of people say the brands they use are actually important in defining how they see themselves. Brands become these symbolic resources. Consumption shifts from just functional, I need coffee, to deeply meaningful, I'm a Starbucks person.
That's interesting. And it helps cut through the noise too, right?
Big time.
Yeah.
In a world with just overwhelming choice, 78% of consumers say they're more likely to recommend a brand that gives them simpler experiences, brands that help them easily express themselves. That's valuable.
Okay, let's talk examples. Harley-Davidson comes to mind immediately.
Right.
Especially their HOG groups.
Right, the Harley Owners Group. Launched way back in 1983, and interestingly, it came about partly because they were in pretty dire financial straits.
Really? Out of necessity?
Yeah. They essentially engineered these local writing groups as identity hubs.
Yeah.
Decades before we had online communities. The apparel, the patches, the customized bikes, those were all identity markers. It wasn't just about the motorcycle itself. It was about who you were when you were with the bike and with that community. They literally engineered belonging.
Wow. And Nike does something similar, but maybe more through segmenting their products.
Exactly. Nike doesn't just sell sneakers, they sell archetypes. You buy their running gear. You're signaling discipline, performance. You rock Jordan Retros, that's about legacy, street cred.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you go for the minimalist Nike Lab drops. That signals you're fashion forward, maybe a bit anti-hype. Each line invites you to pick your tribe, to wear who you are, or maybe who you aspire to be.
So for marketers listening, the move is use AI not just for predicting the next purchase, but for curating based on that aspirational self, giving you that this is so you kind of recommendation.
Yes, and crucially, offer experiences too, whether they're digital hangouts or actual local meetups. Give fans a real platform to connect with their tribe and feel like they co-own the brand story.
Okay, that makes sense. Building the identity.
Right.
Now, what about maintaining it? This brings us to maybe the toughest insight. Cult brands show up for you consistently, not just when you're about to buy something.
Right. Support. It's not just a cost center, it's a loyalty engine. It's actually a defensible differentiator. When everyone's competing on price and features, that amazing, always-on support, that can be the reason someone stays loyal.
And the data here is pretty overwhelming, isn't it?
It really is. 95% of consumers say customer service directly impacts their loyalty. 95%. And 80% feel more emotionally connected to a brand when customer service actually solves their problems smoothly.
That smoothness is key.
Totally.
Yeah.
And people expect it to be seamless now. 73% want to be able to move between support channels like chat, then phone, then maybe in person without starting over every time. This is something Apple just nailed with the Genius Bar experience.
Yeah, Apple definitely requires a commitment, right?
Right.
You're buying into their whole ecosystem, but they back it up with this unique top-tier support.
They do, like
Yeah.
offering one-on-one support, sometimes just through iMessage. And the crucial part, technically speaking, is they retain all the prior context.
Explain that bit, the context-preserving handoff.
Yeah, that's the magic. It
Yeah.
means if you started explaining your issue via chat on your phone, and then you decide to go into a store,
Right?
the system pushes that entire chat history right to the Genius's tablet when you check in. You
Wow.
never, ever have to repeat yourself, and we all know how frustrating that is.
Oh, definitely. That's the worst part of most support experiences.
Exactly. So that security, knowing the brand has your back, respects your time, that drives incredible loyalty. It makes the high price feel justified.
So the actual insight for marketers is stop thinking of support as this separate department over there.
Right. Integrate it. Embed chat buttons right in your marketing emails. Send personalized texts offering help. Just reply to this message to talk to us. Make it easy.
And ensure that context follows the customer. That seems critical.
Absolutely critical. Okay, so the final insight, the ultimate test, really. Cult brands thrive under pressure. A crisis doesn't break them. It often reveals their true strength.
It's about consistency again, isn't it? Consumers don't expect brands to be perfect, but they expect them to be consistent in their values.
You nailed it. Our sources show 63% of global consumers would rather buy from companies they trust, even if those companies mess up sometimes. They value knowing how the brand will react. That accountability.
And there's a financial reason to get this right, too.
Oh, definitely. McKinsey found brands that actively engaged with customers during a crisis saw a 30 to 40% faster recovery rate afterward. Engagement literally speeds up recovery.
Let's look at Shake Shack during the early pandemic chaos. They took that $10 million PPP loan, which was meant for small businesses, right? And they got hammered
Yeah.
for it because they're a public company.
Huge backlash, huge reputational risk. But their response was, well, textbook perfect for a values-driven brand.
What did they do?
They returned the money quickly, publicly, and they tied it directly back to their core purpose, stand for something good. They basically said, yeah, we could have taken this, maybe legally, but it doesn't align with who we are. They admitted the error and fixed it fast.
And the impact.
Well, their CMO at the time, Jay Livingston, later said the positive press and the sheer goodwill they got from that move was actually worth more than $10 million. They turned a potential disaster into this massive trust-building moment just by acting on their stated values, even when it cost them.
And actually, what's fascinating here is that Livingston shared that story and a lot more at Interval's recent Activate tour in New York. We've got the full deep dive on that linked in the article for this chat. Definitely check it out for more detail. Also, for marketers listening, the lesson is don't wait for a crisis.
Exactly. Proactively stress test your brand values internally. Run pressure simulations. Workshop it. How would we respond if this controversy happened, or if we had a major product failure? Get that response plan operationalized across all your channels before you need it.
And be transparent about fixing things.
Yes. Normalize accountability. Don't hide your mistakes. When you go above and beyond to make something right for a customer or community, talk about it. Maybe a We Fixed It content series or something. Celebrating accountability builds way more trust than silence ever could.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, these brands, these cult brands, they seem to operate on a different level.
Cult brands outlive algorithms. They are built by standing for something bigger than product, inviting participation, and staying true when tested.
It's about building something real, something human.
We've broken down the blueprint today, but the real deep dive begins when you ask yourself, what uncomfortable choice are we willing to make to prove we mean what we say? Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time for more insights designed to move your knowledge forward.